Every time Colonel Klink loses, you are watching a contractual obligation. The premise was rewritten in 2 days. Every German character was played by a Jewish actor who survived the regime they were satirizing. These are 15 hidden details you completely missed in Hogan's Heroes. Number 15. The A2 flight jacket worn by Colonel Hogan in nearly every episode is one of the most recognizable costumes in television history. That jacket did not originate on the show. It was first worn by actor Frank Sinatra in the 1965 World War II film, Von Ryan's Express. Bing Crosby Productions acquired the prop before filming began and reused it to reduce costume costs. The same jacket later appeared on actor Greg Kinnear in the 2002 biographical film Autofocus. Look closely at the jacket's left shoulder during any close-up scene. The wear pattern is consistent across all 6 seasons, because it is the same physical garment. The props department was hiding additional secrets in the costumes throughout the entire series. Number 14. Every time Schultz conducts a barracks inspection and picks up Corporal Newkirk's cap, the scene looks like routine blocking. Look at the inside band of that cap when Schultz holds it up. The word Dawson is printed there in plain text. The wardrobe department at Desilu Productions stamped all costumes with actor surnames to prevent mix-ups during rapid costume changes between scenes. Actor Richard Dawson reportedly found the detail amusing rather than objectionable. Pause any inspection scene at the moment Schultz raises the cap and the interior briefly faces the camera. A real actor's name has been visible inside that prisoner's hat for 60 years of broadcasts and reruns. Dawson's relationship with this show was considerably more complicated than a wardrobe marking suggests. Number 13. Viewers know Richard Dawson as the sharp-tongued, card-dealing Corporal Newkirk throughout all 6 seasons. He originally entered the audition process aiming for the lead role. Dawson wanted to play Colonel Hogan, but his natural British accent could not convincingly register as American to network executives. CBS then assigned him Newkirk instead, and initially pushed for a Liverpudlian delivery, before requiring Cockney for easier American audience comprehension. According to Brenda Scott Royce's production history of the series, Dawson reportedly carried a degree of resentment about the casting decision throughout the show's run. Watch Newkirk's body language in any scene where Hogan issues commands. There is a consistent undercurrent in those exchanges that reads differently, knowing Dawson believed he should be giving the orders. Number 12. The Stalag 13 prisoner of war setting feels like a fully considered creative foundation. Creators Bernard Fein and Albert S. Ruddy originally developed a comedy set inside an American prison. No network would commission a series asking audiences to root for convicted criminals. The situation became more complicated when Fein and Ruddy learned that NBC was developing a competing POW camp comedy called Campo 44, set in Italy. They rewrote their entire script as a German POW camp comedy in approximately 2 days. The speed of that rewrite left visible traces. The pilot episode features a fully equipped underground steam room as part of the tunnel system, which quietly disappears after the pilot without explanation. Watch the pilot and notice the steam room. A character central to the show's texture arrived just as suddenly. Number 11. Sergeant Schultz is arguably the show's most emotionally resonant character and the anchor of much of its comedy. He did not exist when Fein and Ruddy wrote their original concept. Writer Richard M. Cowell created Schultz specifically to serve as a structural bridge between Klink and Hogan, a figure who could believably inhabit both worlds. Powell named the character after Captain Schultz from the 1942 Jack Benny film To Be or Not to Be, and stated he had never seen the Billy Wilder film Stalag 17. Watch the chemistry between actor John Banner and Bob Crane in any scene they share. That warmth exists because the role was engineered as a narrative connector, not a character developed in isolation. Number 10. John Banner played Schultz with warmth and deliberate bumbling that made the character one of television's most recognizable figures. Banner was born in Austria and was touring with an acting company in Switzerland in March 1938 when Hitler annexed his home country. He could not return. His parents and sister were murdered at the Mali Trostimetz extermination camp in 1942. Banner later served as a sergeant in the United States Army, coincidentally the same rank as his character. His public response to critics was direct. No one was better positioned to portray figures of that kind than Jewish actors who understood precisely what they were reducing to comedy. Watch Schultz's recurring declaration that he knows nothing. That line reads differently knowing what Banner carried into every episode. Number 9. The German command structure at Stalag 13 appears on screen as a unified group of bumbling authority figures. Werner Klemperer, who fled Nazi Germany in 1933, played Colonel Klink. Leon Askin, an Austrian Jewish refugee, played General Burkhalter. Actor Howard Kane, born Howard Elmer Cohen, a Jewish performer who served in the United States Navy during the Pacific Theater, played Major Hochstetter. All 4 principal German characters were portrayed by Jewish actors, and both show creators Fein and Ruddy were also Jewish. Look at any scene where the full German command appears together. The entire chain of authority depicted on screen was constructed by the people that authority had historically targeted. One of those actors encoded that defiance directly into his employment contract. Number 8. Klemperer's portrayal of Colonel Klink is among the most celebrated comic performances in American television history. He agreed to the role on one formal contractual condition. If the writers ever produced an episode in which Klink emerged as a genuine hero or outmaneuvered the prisoners, Klemperer would leave the production immediately. The clause was honored across all 168 episodes and 6 seasons. Klemperer was the son of celebrated conductor Otto Klemperer, and the family fled Germany in 1933 when Werner was 13 years old. According to IMDb biography records and DVD commentary, the condition was never tested because it was never violated. Watch any episode where Klink appears to gain the upper hand. The reversal always arrives before the scene ends. Every Klink failure is a contractual moral commitment, not a writing choice. Number 7. Actor Robert Clary played Corporal LeBeau with comic energy throughout the series. He was deported from Paris in 1942 at the age of 16 and spent 31 months in multiple detention camps, including Buchenwald, where he was liberated on April 11, 1945. 12 of his immediate family members did not survive. Clary carried a numbered tattoo on his forearm for the rest of his life and never appeared in short sleeves during a single episode of Hogan's Heroes. According to Clary's 2001 autobiography From the Holocaust to Hogan's Heroes, the long sleeves were a deliberate wardrobe decision made with the production, not a period costume requirement. Look at every LeBeau scene across all 6 seasons. His forearms are always covered. It is personal concealment visible in every frame. Number 6. General Burkhalter wears a visible facial scar that the show presents as a traditional Prussian dueling mark, a symbol of military distinction. The scar was real and had nothing to do with dueling. Askin, born Leo Ashkenazi in Vienna, received the scar in 1933 when he was detained and beaten by the SA while working as an actor in Dusseldorf. His parents were later deported through multiple camps and murdered. The production did not attempt to conceal the scar with makeup. Instead, the writers incorporated it directly into Burkhalter's fictional backstory as a mark of honor. Look at Burkhalter's left cheekbone in any well-lit scene. The scar is clearly visible and consistent across every appearance. A mark from genuine historical circumstances was reframed as military prestige in every episode of the series. Number 5. The outdoor Stalag 13 compound presents as a fully realized permanent installation. It was constructed in 1964 on the former RKO 40 acres backlot in Culver City, California, by Bing Crosby Productions on land then owned by Desilu Productions. The set sat adjacent to the Andy Griffith Show's Mayberry set and the plantation facade from Gone with the Wind. In 1974, a separate film production was granted permission to use the location on the condition that they demolish it afterward, eliminating the cost to the original producers. A trespasser later salvaged the iconic tree stump tunnel entrance prop before it deteriorated. Look at outdoor compound scenes and examine the background beyond the fence line. The Baldwin Hills and California palm trees are periodically visible. The prison camp was always a Southern California backlot. Number 4. Every episode of Hogan's Heroes broadcasts with a recorded laugh track that feels entirely standard for the era. That laugh track was the result of a deliberate network experiment. CBS screened the pilot episode for test audiences in 2 separate versions, one with the track and one without. Without it, the show's dry cerebral humor failed to generate strong responses. With it, the audience reaction was enthusiastic. That single screening test convinced CBS to apply recorded laugh tracks as standard practice across its entire comedy programming slate, shaping American sitcom production for decades. The United Kingdom later stripped the laugh track from all episodes when the series aired there. Watch the pilot episode with the volume reduced, and notice how the jokes land differently without the crowd response guiding viewer reaction. Number 3, the Hogan's Heroes March plays over the opening credits of all 168 episodes and has remained immediately recognizable for 6 decades. It was composed by Jerry Fielding, born Joshua Itzhak Feldman, who had been placed on the Hollywood blacklist in 1953 during the McCarthy era. Fielding spent years working outside the Hollywood system before re-entering as a film and television composer, going on to earn 3 Academy Award nominations for his scores on The Wild Bunch and Straw Dogs. The opening drum riff follows the same rhythm pattern used in the 1962 war film The Longest Day, and it was recorded by Bob Crane himself, who had been a professional-level drummer before his radio career. Listen to the first 8 bars of the theme. Crane is performing the opening of his own show. Number 2. Hogan's Heroes ran 6 seasons and became a CBS hit beginning in 1965. It did not air in West Germany until the early 1990s, more than 2 decades after cancellation. Following a brief appearance on the United States Armed Forces Network in 1974, the German government required its immediate removal. When the show eventually reached German television, the dubbed version replaced all legally prohibited salutes with comic substitutes, including phrases translated as "thanks be to heaven." References to aerial attacks on London were dubbed to reference contraceptives instead, and an entirely fictional off-screen character was invented by the dubbing team for comic effect. Retitled Ein Kaffeevoller Helden, meaning a cage full of heroes, it drew up to 840,000 viewers per evening and became a cult phenomenon. Number 1. Hogan's Heroes is remembered as a CBS prisoner of war comedy that ran from 1965 to 1971. Co-creator Albert S. Ruddy pitched the entire concept to CBS founder William Paley by physically performing a full half-hour episode from memory in a conference room, providing his own vocal sound effects. Paley called the premise reprehensible and then purchased the series. Ruddy went on to produce The Godfather in 1972. 1 year after Hogan's Heroes was canceled, The Godfather won the Academy Award for Best Picture at the 1973 ceremony. The show that Paley called reprehensible was the professional foundation for the career that produced the most celebrated American film of its era. Watch the pilot and notice how Ruddy's instinct for character-driven storytelling under pressure is already fully formed. Hogan's Heroes was never just a prisoner of war comedy. Every German uniform was worn by a Jewish actor with a documented reason to wear it. Every contractual clause, concealed wardrobe choice, and reused prop carries a layer that 60 years of viewing never revealed. Watch it again. Which hidden detail surprised you most? And what film should we open next?